It's time. It's time for the Billy Flynn Experience.
Thank you so much for joining me today for another Billy Flynn Experience. Of course, I am Billy Flynn. You're coming live here from Germany. I don't know. It's been quite, some months since my last podcast. I don't know. I just guess this YouTube thing is really getting out of hand. I don't know. I've been following. I've been holding back on doing a podcast. Some of the most recent content that has been swirling around. I had to change my notes like 5 or 6 times. And what's happening in the news pertaining to what's going on in America, as I said at the top of the podcast, you're coming here live from Germany at the Factory Studios in Kaiserslautern. And I've been trying to change up the flow of my podcast and the contents here because as I said, YouTube and most of the content creators, the information and the content that has been uploaded on YouTube as of lately has been really, really bad. A lot of misinformation, a lot of flat out lies, stories that are being or content that has been put forward. And it's just been kind of disheartening. But anyways, we're gonna get into the the title. Yes, I have been following the latest news that has been going around in America pertaining to the artist, as everyone knows, P. Diddy, also known as Love, Sean Combs, whatever you want to call him, Diddy, P. Diddy, Puffy, all those names. But he has been at the top of the news. When TMZ covers a story, you know it has to be important. Actually, Nancy Grace. Out of all people, when Nancy Grace covers the news, you know it has to be something important. But anyways, as I said, I've had to change my notes like 5 or 6 different times because information has been swirling. A lot of the information has been not verified. A lot of misinformation. It kind of makes it hard to follow the current events. But as I said, the reason I titled this podcast Diddy is P. Diddy the Black Hugh Hefner? And that got me thinking. It really got me thinking. The reason that I changed it from the original title some weeks ago, that I wanted to do a podcast on this, because I just seen a documentary about Hugh Hefner, and it brought everything. It changed up everything. It changed up all of the content that I wanted to put forward. It changed up everything. And everyone knows the story of P. Diddy and what's going on in his realm, his world. And again, it got me to thinking, once I seen this documentary about Hugh Hefner, it really got me thinking that both are parallel. And I'm going to compare the two. Briefly, I'm not going to go really deep into this because a lot of people probably don't remember Hugh Hefner. Hugh Hefner is a pioneer in the I don't know. I want to really be. I want to be gentle with this. I don't want to really say the wrong thing. But yeah, Hugh Hefner is a pioneer when it comes to magazines, and some would say pornography, some would say boudoir photography. You know, you can call it whatever you want to call it, but I would name Hugh Hefner the grandfather of the freak-offs. Yeah, I would name him grandfather of the freak-offs. Let's get an applause on that. Okay, not really. Not really. But yeah, if you know anything about Hugh Hefner and the 60s and the 70s and the 80s, Hugh Hefner is the grandfather of the freak-offs. His empire, Playboy magazine, took place back in the late 50s. And he started it all. He started this revolution, this sexual revolution of free expression. And actually, some would even say that he revolutionized the sexual revolution that took place in the 60s and 70s. With the expression of women being free to express themselves sexually, and men being able to partake in this expression. And those that know anything about Hugh Hefner and his magazine, not only his magazine, but his empire, his entertainment empire. He had a television show called Playboy After Dark, where he interviewed many celebrities, a lot of black celebrities, which wasn't done during the 60s and 70s. But he pioneered that with black celebrities, and black celebrities being able to mingle with the white establishment. He was a pioneer for that. A lot of people don't know. Probably a lot of people don't even remember. But I would say that he's a grandfather of the freak-offs because not until later in the I want to say maybe the late 90s, mid 90s, late 90s, early 2000s, when a lot of the Playboy bunnies started coming forward with allegations or, you know, their stories. A few of the Playboy bunnies had written books. I'm not going to go deep into it, but you can Google it. A lot of the Playboys, for the most part, a lot of Playboy bunnies and things that were going on inside his Playboy mansion was pretty much unheard of, or it didn't get a lot of media attention like this P. Diddy thing is, this whole debacle with P. Diddy. And Hugh Hefner's empire pretty much stayed intact up until his death, which I believe was 2015, if I'm not mistaken. It may have been later, but once Hugh Hefner passed, once he died, that's when a lot of the Playboy bunnies started coming out and talking about, you know, his empire. They had to wait for him to die, which I think is, you know, kind of shitty. Excuse my language, but Yeah, they had to wait for him to die in order for a lot of these allegations, a lot of the stories, even the documentaries that came out. But we're talking about 50s, the late 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s. What's that, 67? It's like 4 or 5 decades later. The only scandal that Hugh Hefner experiences, and I want to make sure I get this right, get the names right. I don't know, what was it? I don't want to. Again, I want to make sure that I walk through this and not spread misinformation. But I can't find it in my notes. But one of the scandals had something to do with one of his playmates being unalived by her husband, and it brought his empire to the forefront of what was going on inside and behind the Playboy Mansion. One thing that I can say, his most popular close friends was, of course, Bill Cosby. We all know what happened to Bill Cosby. We all know what happened to Harvey Weinstein, which was all a product of Hugh Hefner. And during that time, during the 70s, of course, it was just the time, that particular time in history, that those freak-off parties were rampant. It was pretty much the way it was, the way it used to be. And again, because of it, I don't know whether or not his NDAs were ironclad, or whether or not he just had, or just people just didn't care to say anything about it, because again, those were the times. That's just what people did. They partied hard, they took drugs, they drank a lot, and they had a lot of sex. And it could have been in a situation where a lot of people really didn't care to say anything because it was, I don't know, maybe because it was fun. Again, it was a whole revolution that was taking place. And of course, America have always had this puritanical approach to sexuality. And again, I think that's what Hugh Hefner revolutionized on. But we're going to bring it, again, we're going to tie it all together with P. Diddy and all the accusations that have been taking place, starting with Cassie, one of P. Diddy's artists and girlfriend for like about 10 years, I believe. Once she came forward, well, of course, before that, a lot of people have been, throwing around these accusations for years. And of course, you can also add the fact that P. Diddy, or I'm just going to call him Sean Combs. I'm not going to keep using his moniker, his stage name, but Sean Combs, with all the accusations throughout the years of him mistreating and bad dealings with his artists, not, properly being compensated for their artistic branding and approach to entertainment industry. Him not paying his or properly compensating his artists. Of course, everybody knows the stories about that. Everybody knows the stories about him not taking care of the people that was under his label, his bad boy label. And of course, the unaliving of Biggie Smalls, Christopher Wallace, and his connection to the unaliving of Tupac Shakur. And you can throw in the fact that Kim Porter, all of these accusations have been flying around for years, and there has not been any shred of evidence whatsoever. But the one thing that Sean Combs has been known for is his outlandish partying lifestyle, his over-the-top persona of being that particular individual that knew how to throw a party or knew how to entertain, his bigger than life persona of entertainment or in the entertainment industry. And again, now that all of the accusations are coming forward, starting with Cassie, I don't know why I keep calling her Casey, starting with Cassie, and then this character, Little Rod, I don't know, and then there's other people that are coming forward. None of this stuff has been proven to be accurate or truthful. It's just accusations. And my unpopular opinion, and this is just my opinion, it's unpopular, but I think Diddy's gonna walk. No, not really. That, we're not gonna applaud to that, but unpopular opinion, I think that Sean Combs is gonna walk. He's not gonna be prosecuted. And the reason I say that is because of the fact that a lot of the allegations is unsubstantiated. It's not proof. I mean, it's just, it could be, of course, in the lawsuits, and Cassie was the one who stated a lot of the mistreatment over the 10-year period that she was with Sean Combs. Of course, that's the only thing that everybody's running with. That's the only shred of proof in the story that has been told thus far. But again, I'm comparing Sean Combs to Hugh Hefner. And it might be a situation that he is going to walk. He is going to walk away from this unscathed. And if that happens, again, this is just my opinion, unpopular opinion. And if that happens, if P. Diddy is not prosecuted, if he does not go to prison and he gets away with this and he walks away unscathed, he is going to be like, he's gonna like the phoenix from the flames. He is going to rise victoriously, and we're not going to hear the end of it. We're not going to hear the end of it. He is going to, actually, he's already, I don't know if this is true or not, but threats of retaliation against the people that has not stood next to him so far. The only person that has stood next to him through all of this is Stevie J. And again, that's a gentleman that was a producer, a part of the producer, one of the gentlemen that has been in his on his label doing a lot of the productions, the hitmen of Bad Boys Records. He's been the only one that has come forward and standing next to P. Diddy, Sean Combs, and stating that the whole time that he's been around P. Diddy, he's never seen any of the things that has been held against him as far as accusations are concerned. And this, I don't know, this whole thing with Little Rod, I don't even want to say his full name because it's gotten really ridiculous. And the accusations following his lawsuit. And it states that, of course, you know, P. Diddy and his parties with underage women, and his accusations of drugging his people that have been a part of his freak off parties. Again, a lot of this stuff is not proven. It's not substantiated, and it's turned basically into a series of comic relief episodes. Just doesn't make any sense. It doesn't hold up anything, and it's getting more and more ridiculous. So that's one of the reasons why I think, as an unpopular opinion, that Diddy is going to walk from this. He's not going to be prosecuted. If he does, you know, okay, he may do, I don't know, a couple of years, 5 years, get off at 2 years for good behavior. But with the lawyers that he has in his corner, it looks as though they are really putting ironclad defense. They're putting that together right now as I speak, because you haven't heard really anything from the Sean Combs camp. Everything has been silent. He's been going on with his life as normal, which is fine. That's what he should be. That's what he should do, is just go on and leave everything up to his lawyers to take care of everything. But again, I think he's going to walk. I think he's going to be, as far as his public persona, that's, you know, the public has already judged him. Whether he's innocent, it doesn't matter, because all of the misinformation that has been put out there, it's kind of hard to dissect, to find out what is truth, what is what is fact from fiction. So his public persona is done. But again, if he walks away from this, he's gonna rub all of this in everyone's faces, and that's gonna be a whole nother shitstorm as far as the content creators on YouTube. This will be probably as big as, I don't know, the O.J. Simpson trial, or the O.J. Simpson, that what took place in the early 90s, and has been like the talk ever since, and is still the talk since the passing of O.J. Simpson last month. So this is going to be very interesting. And again, the reason that I said Diddy is, I think that Diddy is the black Hugh Hefner, is because he pretty much did the same thing that Hugh Hefner has done. He had his freak offs, he had his wild parties, he had allegedly he had drugs at these parties. We already know that Hugh Hefner was doing that because again, his most bestie of friends was Bill Cosby, and we all know what happened to Bill Cosby, and it tracks all the way back during the 70s. And like I said, during the 70s, that's just the way that things were. That's what people did, and it was just the way it was. So again, that's my comparison. I think that Diddy's going to walk. So I could be wrong. Let's hope that I am. Because if it is truth, if it is fact, and the stories come and everything aligns up and points that what he's done is deplorable, his deplorable acts, and what he has done was fact, then yes, that he should be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law and put away for a very long time. But we shall see. And again, this is just my unpopular opinion, and I waited to actually post this because, again, I tried to 5 different times I've had notes, but as I sit and read and sift through the information and listen to a lot of other content creators and just seeing what proof that's out there, it just seems as though everyone is just basically regurgitating what other people are saying. There is really no fact at this point. So we shall see. Again, thank you so much for listening. You have a wonderful, wonderful day.